So please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and.
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
Like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
so
fair.
You're more in the category like Luther Arnold. Okay?
My man.
Okay.
Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think
you.
of something
All
funny
right,
and start laughing.
do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang,
bullets.
bang. Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. You know what? It is Friday. It is a good day. It is the weekend. Or, you got to get through the work day to get into the weekend. But at the same time, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a good week. It's been a long week, but it's been a good one. And so I'm really, really looking forward to some time to just relax, chill out, and have some good times with some people, friends, etc. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy this weather. I know it's hot. It's not hot. It's not, it's hot, as I've said before. Man, is it hot outside. Man. I had a meeting yesterday, right? This is the reason why I couldn't do a show last night. And we're basically out on the patio outside. And I'm wearing just, a short sleeve shirt and pants, just regular, looking professional. But, trying to get comfortable and all that. And I'm just sweating through everything. Literally. Everybody else is cool as a cucumber. But me, I'm sweating through everything. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I hate it. This is the one thing I hate more than anything with the summer. It's like you want to be, you want to look good, but then everything starts to wilt on you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're sweating through everything. That was me yesterday. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. You know what I'm saying? Man. But hopefully you guys had a great night yesterday. I'm sorry that we didn't have a show. I had some things I had to do yesterday. Some big things are around the bend for this show, which I'm very, very excited about. The fellas don't know anything yet either. We're going to have a conversation about that here in a little while. But anyway, we got some things we got to talk about. We got some things to be excited about. We got some things to be annoyed about. And we got some things to laugh at as well today. So we got a lot of things going on. Also, first off, happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. And of course, for all you fellas, all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. The happiest of Father's Day to all you guys. I just want to be the first one to say it, and I will be the last one to say it as well at the end of the show. But I want to say right now, because I want to say this. Fellas, thank you for all you dads out there that raise your children, that are responsible adults, responsible dads, okay? I want to say thank you. Because, without you guys, us men would not know how to be real men, how to be the proper gentlemen that we need to be out here in these streets. So, without you upstanding, amazing dads out there, we wouldn't have nothing, all right? There would be no structure. There would be no nothing. Just want to say that real quick, all right? And, of course, I've said this about the mothers, too, because, like I said, you mamas out there are the bomb. Without you, there would be no life. You feel me? Okay, so I just wanted to say that really quick. Happiest of Father's Day to every single last one of you daddies out there. And also, I want to say this too, because some of you single mothers out there not only are the moms, but you also the dad too. So shout out to all you single mamas out there that have to wear both hats at the same damn time. Thank you. All right? We do appreciate you. Anyway, the fellas are in the house. What up, man? What's good, man?
It's good. Everything's good here. It's like you said, it's getting hot everywhere there.
It's hot.
It's already 90 something outside here. It's supposed to get up to 110 today, which sucks. But It looks like hopefully it hits the rest of the country, but it looks like it's going to be dropping 20 degrees tomorrow for us at least.
Word. Man, well, lucky you. Lucky. Yeah. It's supposed to drop, you said.
Yeah.
Shoot. You lucky son of a gun.
We were getting rains off the mountains where it's way cooler than down here.
Woo.
Like if you go up the mesa, it's 60 degrees there right now, but if you go down to the bottom of it, it's 90. That's how much it changes, just depending on which road you're on or elevation.
How you doing, T?
I'm great. Thanks for the Father's Day shout out. Juneteenth.
I wasn't congratulating. I wasn't saying thank you to you, bro. You ain't nothing.
I felt that whole thing towards me, man. It was awesome. Thank you for that.
No, you ain't ish, man. You ain't nothing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Nice weekend, festive weekend. You know, hanging out with the family. So it's gonna be hot, like David said, about 90 degrees where I'm at.
Yeah. So. Facts. Oh, by the way, can I say something really quick? Can I just say this really quick? Kids, if you're watching this show, I don't know why you're doing it, but and I'm sorry. But at the same time, I want to say this too. Why do the moms, like the Mother's Day, they get all the fun stuff and the dads just get a tie or socks? Like just to hook the dads up. You know what I'm saying? We out here, I mean, I ain't a dad, but you know what I mean. The fellas, the pops are out here working hard out here in these streets. Like I said, streets. They're working hard out here in these streets. You know? Do something. You know what I'm saying? You know, think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Think outside the box for a minute, you know? Hook a brother up with something other than just socks and ties. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe cook him a nice good steak. You know what I mean? If he ain't vegan. You know what I'm saying? Like, just hook a brother up. You know what I mean? You know, we brought you in the world too, damn it. You know what I'm saying? We child rearing too. But we get the dads get ties and socks. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Just saying that out loud for y'all. I ain't got no kids. I ain't a dad. But at the same time, bro. Throw out the ties, throw out the socks. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You'll thank me later. Trust me. Okay? And I get it, Shay. Shay's like, I can always use socks. Yeah. Who could ever have enough socks, right? But at the same time, you know, moms get breakfast in bed, they get the flowers and all that. And I get it, you know, fellas, you know, we're not all like flower people. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Think outside the box just a little bit. Anyway, I digress. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Yeah, man. What's the wildest thing you've gotten for Father's Day? I mean, you know, you've brought a child into the world. You got a beautiful daughter. So.
Thank you. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's been consistently ties every year. I did get a gift card from a masseuse, so I will, you know, definitely get a massage every year. I'll take that. I mean,
that's
dinner.
What's up.
I've had dinner. You know, nothing over the top though. You know, just general things, I would say.
Right.
Massage
you know, though.
Yeah, I take that every year.
A massage though. I mean, that's unique.
It is.
I would take yes. I'd be like, you could just schedule one every single year for Father's Day for me, and that could be your gift. You know what I mean? I know exactly what's going on. I'm not surprised that it's walking the same place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Full body massage. Yeah, that'd be dope. That's a good one, man. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. That's a good one. I mean, it beats, you know, just ties, socks, and power tools. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I'll take that any day.
Would always be nice.
You see, but that's you. That's you. You know what I mean? That's you. Yes. Lumberjack looking ass. You know what I'm saying? Just saying that out loud. But anyway, happy Father's Day to everybody. Hope you guys are all enjoying your day. I will be doing a little bit of a giveaway. It's going to be a CashApp giveaway to the fellas today, specifically for the fellas, giving away $50 via CashApp. Okay? You got to answer one question. I didn't get to tell David that, but I'm going to throw this to David and make sure he's able to maybe look up some really good question for today's giveaway. But we're doing a Father's Day Cash App giveaway today for Friday. Trust me, you're going to want to call in. You have to be male. Sorry, ladies. You have to be male. It is a Father's Day giveaway. So when I say the phone lines are open for that, call in. David's going to ask some ridiculously hard question like the last one. Man, that took forever. Fellas, call in and you get an opportunity to win $50, okay, for Father's Day. I know it's not like $500, I know, but at the same time, man, we working hard out here, man. You know what I mean? It's hard out here for a pimp, okay? So, anyway, we, of course, got to jump into the news. Of course, there's a lot of things that are going on. Obviously, we've had this new information in regards to Juneteenth. Biden has signed and has officially made Juneteenth a federal holiday. And wow, to me, I'm excited. Okay? I'm very excited. I'm very hype about it. Okay? But there's some other people that are not so hype about it. And I wonder who could that possibly, one of the people, who could that possibly be? I'll let you guys guess for a second. I saw some of you guys commenting already and putting people's names on here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, someone would have a problem with this. They go by the name of Candace Owens. Yes, I said it. Candace Owens has a problem. A full-on problem with this holiday, or with this becoming a federal holiday, being signed in, okay? Now, this is very interesting to me, okay? We're going to look at the tweet, because, of course, she goes to Twitter, putting in her twit and acting like a twit, in my personal opinion. She puts in this: Juneteenth is so lame. Democrats really need to stop trying to repackage segregation. I'll be celebrating July 4th and July 4th only. I'm American, with a American flag emoji. Yeah, guys. I didn't know that this holiday would be such a huge problem to someone like Candace Owens. I mean, last I checked, she is black. Last I checked, I don't know her lineage. I don't know her bloodline or anything of that sort. But last I checked, I'm assuming she has maybe some lineage towards people who were enslaved, people who were slaves. So for someone like Candace Owens to have a problem with this, to me, it's surprising. All right. Anything else, fine. But something like this, she got a problem with this? Huh? I saw this thing last night and I'm sitting there going, man, do I really want to jump online and do a pop-up video about this? But I was in the middle of my meeting and I'm sitting there going, nah, we're gonna just talk about it on the show. We're gonna just talk about it on the show. I'm gonna hold back. We're gonna talk about it on the show. But one thing that I find very extremely shocking to me is that I could see Tucker Carlson saying something like this. Well, not the so lame. That's very high school, right? But I expect that from Tucker Carlson. I expect that from Sean Hannity. Shoot, I even expect that from Hunter Biden. I said it. Yes, I said it. But I don't expect it from any person that has any type of melanin in their skin. I just don't expect it. So when I saw this, I was like, whoa, wait a second. What the hell? What the hell is all this? This is a big surprise to me. But then I realized, wait a second. I had a moment. I stepped back and I go, hey, wait, we're talking about Candace Owens. So it's not a huge surprise, but I am kind of surprised. Like suddenly she just lost everything. She's gone. She is all up in that sauce. Hardcore. Fellas, I want to hear your thoughts on this. on this whole situation, on this news? Speak on it, guys.
I'm just curious. Go ahead, Sam, man.
I was just gonna say, it's not too surprising to hear this from her, but her post does seem strange, like pointing out July 4th and only July 4th. Does that mean she doesn't celebrate other holidays? I guess like Memorial Day or any of that. I don't know, but either way, I don't know. It just seems like a strange take to me. From what I can tell, most people, including myself, think it's a fine idea. There's nothing. There's no major reason to say it shouldn't be a holiday or anything like that. It just makes perfect sense for it to be so. But I guess, some people are angry about it. Not a whole lot, though. I've even noticed a lot of the conservative black channels that would typically side with the right always, they seem to be fine with it as well. Like you said, Candace Owens out there, and some other people were saying a few things. Yesterday in Discord, I thought this was interesting. I was going to ask you about it. A lady 747 asked, she says, asking for a friend who asked for Juneteenth holiday. You notice how anything, and I mean everything that is supposed to be for black people, more white people benefit from it than anybody else. And those are some comments I've heard from the right side posters, like, oh, well, at least it's a day off type thing. But, I think you and T were talking about this a little yesterday. I only watched about a half hour of it. But, I think it's great. I don't know about great, but it's good. I do ultimately think that from the political side, it's more of a gesture than intention to make a real legitimate change. But I do think it's basically a step in the right direction as far as recognition of our history goes.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing. But yeah.
I'll say this with what a lady said. She ain't wrong with what she said, but what are we supposed to do? Sit there and say, oh, it's only a holiday for black people and that's it? So all black people get that day off, but then again, we look at things like certain events like, no. I mean, there are certain events that are with religions, right? That you have a specific day off or something of that sort. But at the same time, like, it's kind of hard for us to just suddenly say, oh, it's only a black holiday. No one else can actually, observe it, right? Or, observe it and be a part of it and celebrate it. I do think that it's something that needs to be, like I said, I've said this before in the show before. I really do think that we really need to have, I really do think that we need to have this for everyone to have, so that we can observe it and that people can understand what it is, whether they agree with it or not. Shoot, there are people out here that don't celebrate 4th of July at all. But they know what it is. They know what 4th of July stands for and what it's all about. They just choose not to celebrate it. It is a day off for them for sure, right? And yeah, of course, there's still fireworks going off, but they don't celebrate it. So I see it as something, as an opportunity for people to learn about it, and then they make their choice whether they're going to honor it or if they're going to not honor it. That's what I think. You know what I mean? What were we going to say, David?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember where I was going to go with that, but I think it is going to be one of those things that a lot of people on the right, like Candace Owens, just kind of jump on to get some credibility, I think. But I mean, like I said before, I watch some conservative YouTubers. I watch Amazing Lucas. I used to watch Officer Tatum, watch Hodge Twins and stuff, and I don't know about Tatum, but everyone else seems to be like okay with the idea of it. So I think this one does mostly have universal support, but we do have people like Candace Owens who is speaking out against this. But from what I can tell, and obviously I'm not in the community, but from what I can tell, black conservatives do not think that Candace Owens is a good representation of them whatsoever.
No, she doesn't represent me. You know what I'm saying? She does not represent me. In fact, I just don't know. I mean, because I'm not a black conservative, so I can't sit there and speak on behalf of black conservatives. But I would be surprised. Well, that there are some diehard stands out there for CO. Real talk. I just don't see how, I just don't see how. I just don't see it. I don't see how black conservatives can really, at least on this particular matter, be okay with this 110%. In just my personal opinion, just seems weird.
She posted in her tweet like the American flag that I am American. It's like that was her way of trying to, I guess, paint a portrait of Juneteenth being anti-American or un-American. So I don't get her point with it. I'm American.
I don't get it.
Celebrate July 4th. I mean, every federal holiday is celebrating like someone who has connection to America. So like if you're celebrating, Yom Kippur or whatever, like that's a Jewish American holiday, and it's not only for Jewish people to celebrate. Everyone can join in festivities if they choose to.
Right.
So Juneteenth shouldn't be like only for people who are black. If you choose to be in an authentic way, like involved in it, why not go to an event, see what it's all about, and have a good time? If it's not for you, then it's not for you.
Word.
But you shouldn't be denouncing it. When school was out 8 times out of the year for holidays for Jewish people or for Italian people, Irish people, whatever it may be, you take off work, you have a good day, you can join in with the festivities or not. This is so different than that. So for her to be this talking point from the far right, if that's who she actually represents, I don't get her point of this. This is America. Like I don't understand that tweet. I mean, I'm still confused about that. I mean, maybe this holiday is hitting a soft spot. Maybe it's triggering people who have some guilt inside of themselves. But why denounce this holiday that's in a way celebrating people who are actually free? Shouldn't all Americans be free? Is this the home of the free? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see, is this like independence? Like, I mean, I don't get the whole like hypocrisy here. Everyone should have the right to be free and live a life in pursuit of happiness. But if you don't want that, Candace Owens, then you will be a slave to this day. If you didn't, like, she's so twisted. I don't understand her logic.
No, I mean, I think it's full. I feel like it's a full-on pandering tweet. That's all it is. She's literally just stroking her fans, stroking her supporters, stroking the right, because there's a lot of people on the right side that have a huge problem with this whole situation, which I think is absolute trash. We will sit there and we will honor days where it is just full-on alcoholism, literally. It is not celebrating anything except for, oh, we get to go out and get wasted, get ish-faced, right? Oh, another day where we go out and get ish-faced again. Shoot, 4th of July pretty much is that too. You know what I'm saying? So for me, this is so full-on. This is full-on pandering to her constituents, okay? To her supporters and all that stuff. That's all it is. And so, of course, anything that would be something that would benefit the black community, she's going to be on 110% against. 110%.
But
hands
she's
down.
black herself. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like,
No, and
like, I don't understand that.
But at the
It's
same
like,
time,
that's weird.
she's getting paid somehow under the damn table, looking like a black Cruella de Vil up in this piece. We had that conversation. I'm serious. I think she's just always thinking about the 101 Dalmatians. How's she going to destroy him? I don't know. She just, to me, she's not even a real human being. I think she's a wax figure. Like, it's not even real now. Okay. But she clearly is doing this because, you know, for a fact, there are going to be people on the right that are going to fully go head on this. And also on top of that, once again, it is another black person giving certain white people the pass. Oh, if she says it, then it's okay. Okay, I'm not racist if I think that that's not fair. That Juneteenth, or that I disagree with Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. Oh, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And Kiki ain't wrong. All skin folk ain't kin folk. That's figgity facts. And, you know, like I said, this is what she's doing is working. Because what are we doing? We're talking about it right now. We out here chopping it up about Candace Owens, about CO again. You know what I mean? Why? Because she's doing something to stir the pot, get people upset, keep her name out there in the pop culture thing, keep trending on Twitter and all that stuff. And she's pandering to her side, her to the right. And that's all it is, which is, in my personal opinion, absolute trash. But there you have it, y'all. Candace Owens doing her thing. Now, I understand there's other people out here that don't agree with it. And, you know, to each their own. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is now. It is a holiday. And there's nothing that you guys can do about it now. It's over. The decision has been made. Ink has dried. It is over. So for her to sit there and say that, fine. You know, one day, I guarantee you, you know, I do have that thing in the back of my mind going, well, maybe, you know, some people just stay evil until they leave this planet. But I keep thinking that one day she's going to come back and go, you know, I do regret saying these things. One day, those things that she says in her twits will circle back and bite her in the ass. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. It's coming. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow, but it's coming soon. Trust and believe. But we got to jump into this next thing now. Now, this is something that has been going viral. All right. This is something that has to do with CRT. Yes, we are going into that world right now. There is a gentleman that talked about critical race theory. Let me get this thing here. It says, Illinois parent rips into critical race theory at a school board meeting. And we got the video right here. I've never seen this. I have not seen it, but I wanted to watch it with all y'all. I wanted to watch it together as a family and kind of come up with our own 2 cents, our own opinions about this situation. Let's take a look, shall we?
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, that's pretty much what it's going to, that's pretty much, I don't care what you say, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How did I get, first of all, time up, because I only got 5 minutes now, 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees. No mom, no dad in the house. Worked my way through college. Sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? Not one white person ever came to me and say, well, son, you're never going to be able to get nowhere because you know the black people. But guess what? What's sickening about this whole thing is what y'all doing right now is already something I do in my community right now to speak out against stuff because black folks are getting told by other black folks, oh, you know you ain't going to be able to do nothing out there in the world because them white folks ain't going to let you get no, oh, you know you're not going to be able to do it here because you know, the white man going to keep you down. Well, how did I get where I am right now if some white man kept me down? How am I now directing over folks that look just like you guys in this room right now? How? What kept me down? What oppressed me? I worked for myself from off the streets to where I am right now. You gonna sit here and tell me this lie of critical race theory? This the reason why black folks can't get ahead because of white folks? Are you kidding me? This is what we come to now. I can't believe we even talking about this right now. The last thing I'm gonna say right here is something that's crazy. Martin Luther King said he wanted his kids to grow up in a world where they are judged by the contents of their
character.
What? Their character, not their skin. If they letting this stuff go on right now, it is absolutely doing the complete reverse of what he's doing. So when February comes, don't talk about Martin Luther King. When February comes, don't talk about Black History Month. If y'all gonna sit there and just pretty much pee on his grave with this nonsense, that's exactly what's about to happen. Lastly, we are talking about our kids. We are talking about our children. What's so sickening about me, I love the Discovery Channel. You will see that on the Discovery Channel, animals will put their lives on the line to protect their children from danger. Nobody want to get to the heart of the matter, get to the meat of the matter, get to the moral of the story. It all comes down to it. The person that's going to be suffering from this, the ones going to be hurt from this, is the kids. 10 years from now, if this stuff goes on, whose fault is it going to be? Whose fault is it going to be? Who are we going to look back on and blame for this? Because this is stuff we're talking about right now. This stuff is going on right now. I do this stuff on a daily basis. I'm in the hood. I'm in the communities. I'm out there with folks in their face. I've been doing this stuff since I was 18 years old, talking to black folks. And you know what? None of them are buying this nonsense. None of them are. But if you want to implement this into the school system, I guarantee you to the day that I die, I'm going to be the very person right there debunking stuff, tearing stuff down, letting them know they can do exactly what I did and get exactly where I am by putting themselves to work and getting there. And ain't not one white person ever going to keep any of them from getting there. So the CRT stuff, BS.
Okay. So, you just saw that. I just saw that. There's a lot to unpack here because he came in like he just did like 3 lines of cocaine. I'm sorry. There was a lot to unpack there. He said a lot and in a very little amount of time. Crap. He said a lot. Now, here it is. Okay, I'll say this. Okay, he has 2 medical degrees, correct? Am I correct?
That was the first thing.
He said
was
it
questioning
right off the bat. He was like, but he was saying stuff so fast, and I understand. He was very passionate. He only has 5 minutes to get his point across. He had a lot to say, and he was super hype, right? But at the same time, I'll say this because hey, we talk about everything on this show, right? We show all opposing sides, or we at least try to. I don't agree with what he said. I don't agree at all with what he said. Now, in his own particular experience, he had that particular experience, right? His experience is, okay, no white man came over to me and told me I couldn't amount to anything because of the color of my skin. That's his experience. He's talking about his own firsthand experience. He doesn't know my firsthand experience. He doesn't know T's firsthand experience. Shoot. He doesn't know David's firsthand experience, okay? Just being a white man in this world, in this country, okay? So for him to sit here and say, oh, these kids are, these kids and blah, 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 and all you got to do is apply yourself and blah, blah, blah. Man, there's plenty of kids out here that apply themselves every single damn day and never get further than they ever wanted because of things that are holding them back. So that's one thing that I don't agree with. Now, when it comes to the critical race theory and the whole process of it, they automatically think that it's going to be like, oh, so suddenly we're going to bring all these kids into school and we're just going to look at white people and look at black people and we're just going to be pitting them against each other just so that they can acknowledge the fact that they have different skin tones. No, it's not that at all. I feel like everyone tries to take it to that next level of like, oh, y'all are so bad. Look at white people. White people are the devil. They the devil. See, they're going to hold you down. No, it's not that at all. You got it wrong. Everyone seems to go with that one thing. Like, when they go, oh, when they, back in the day when they were talking about like BLM and all that. And of course, I'm not trying to go into it, but they'll always sit there. Oh, it's a Marxist group. It's like, bruh, come on. There's so much more than just that. They just go with these talking points and they just ride that thing to the ground. And that's the one thing. It's like this guy saw way too many things on Twitter or Instagram or something like that, and he just kept running with it. His experience is different. Not every single person is as lucky as him. Okay? And by the way, Chris CCC just said he's doing the blind eye like Candace Owens. Here, even Candace Owens had had white people calling her home, telling her that harassing her, telling her that they were going to hang her when she was in high school. People trying to take her down. Now she's a huge name and she's doing her damn thing, regurgitating the same stuff that she was being ridiculed for back in the day, if that makes any sense. But this guy has it all wrong. And like I said, his experience might be different, but he don't know my experience. He for damn sure don't know my experience. So, as much as sit there, and of course, he's in a room that is in a gigantic echo chamber. He's in a room full of people that are sitting there going, oh yeah, exactly. Whole bunch of white people. Did you see I didn't see not one black person except for his ass in that room. You're telling me that, okay. I'm going to stop right there. Fellas, what are your thoughts? T, let's start with you today.
Yeah, I mean, he said a whole bunch. There were different layers of things, that we can all unpack. The 2 medical degrees was his first thing he talked about, and that was his way of saying that I still achieved. and the man did not hold me down. So CRT must not be real. So he's using his own personal experiences to compare himself to every other black person in America, past, present, and future, to say that this theory is not true. I mean, there's no way that this could be true if everyone who is white theoretically is subconsciously racist. If that was the case, I would not be allowed to advance my life in the medical field. And again, that's one singular case. You know, if he was really looking at the numbers of success and looking at the conditions of people across America, you know, it'd be better for him to use, like, let's say, if someone is born, you know, in the ghetto, and they're subjugated to what's around them. So that's low and poor nutrition. That's high crime rates. It's high poverty.
Mm-hmm.
That's high levels of emotional trauma and stress, psychological. You have poor schools. You have more rundown homes and communities. You have less resources in terms of quality hospitals, quality playgrounds. You know, there's an array of things that you can look at someone born in the ghetto and what they have to deal with and overcome. And think about the ghettos across America and the populations and demographics of people who live in those areas. You have to think about what are the chances of being successful. It's slim to none for the most part, for most of them to get out of the ghetto. And if they did get out of the ghetto, where could they actually go to and move to? Because no one wants anybody that looks like them or acts like them in their neighborhood. That's why they're in the ghetto, unfortunately. So there is of course, discrimination in terms of housing and redlining and things of that nature. So people are segregated in America to this day. So his success story, that's great. That's phenomenal that he actually overcome and overcame these things and he made it. That's phenomenal. But that does not mean that everyone else looks like him from where he was born can do the same thing. If that was the case, it would be happening in larger numbers, I would say. So for him to use himself as the example, again, you know, hats off to him. But at the same time, the system that's in place is keeping people where they are, in terms of the quantity of the people. So the majority of people aren't really progressing out of where they're from based off the system. So he's not seeing that part.
Facts. I think it's frustrating when you think that, because what he's doing, actually, what he's doing is he's automatically going, hey, because I went through this, that means other black people can go through the same thing, and they're just being lazy, or they're using this as an excuse for them not to be able to overcome or not to progress, because they're going to say, oh, the white man always trying to keep us down. And it's like, well, wait a second. We don't have the same, like, it's not a monolith here, y'all. It's not. Some of us are born with a silver spoon in our mouth with just nothing but luck and connections. Look at Jaden and Willow Smith, for crying out loud. Shoot, if we were all a monolith, we'd all be in the ghetto. You know what I mean? We'd all be in the hood, not progressing at all. You see what I'm saying? We are not a monolith. Some of us are luckier than others. That is true. You know what I'm saying? But it's ridiculous for him to try to say that his specific timeline in life automatically equates to all of black people. You know, it's ridiculous. David, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of this is that there isn't necessarily a unified definition of what CRT is quite yet. So what we see is that a lot of people, mostly on the right, but not just the right, will go to some of these classes that have been taught or were planned, which are largely corporate classes. So these are classes that are generally, they're hiring a private individual to come and teach those classes or whatever, or to design the thing. And there has been negative feedback in the past. Like Smithsonian ended up changing its posters because originally it did say a lot of things like black people are not naturally punctual and they're not inherently logical like white people, and you shouldn't expect that from them. Like they removed all that language from their stuff and redid their definition of CRT, and you kind of see this with some of the other corporate classes that they've been having. Like some of them will come in with the like these ideas that white people are literally and inherently demonic, and that black people have no power over them type things. And these have been attacked by both sides as far as I can tell, and largely removed. But what the current conversation is largely on CRT in the educational setting. And we really haven't seen that yet. So it's one of those things where they're addressing an issue that necessarily hasn't happened yet. We're not seeing CRT in lower schools, and I've looked because I was checking through curriculums and everything. A lot of the you could say a lot of the original corporate curriculums were problematic, but a lot of the ones that they're developing now are more reasonable and actually research-based. And this is what you're seeing more now, where it's talking about awareness of differences. It's not saying that people are inherently a certain way, including black and white people aren't inherently this way. So there's been a considerable improvement as far as the corporate classes have gone. But what a lot of people are arguing about is classes in schools, which, like I said, we haven't really seen yet. And we've already seen universities and, states and a few universities decide to block CRT without having been a curriculum developed yet. So fundamentally, what a lot of places are doing, they're banning an educational class of critical theory, but they're basing that on corporate classes that they're pointing out, and there's been about 3 or 4 that have been championed as as examples of bad CRT. I do think that is people are coming at it from a different angle to that degree. Mm-hmm. So I think once we start seeing actual curriculums for schools as far as how CRT should be taught, designed by those schools and educators and researchers, and then I think the conversation will probably change quite a bit, because right now people are arguing against something that doesn't exist yet. So a lot of the arguments don't necessarily hold much merit, because, I mean, like I said, CRT does exist as its own object and taught outside of things. But in terms of academia, especially from like K-12 classes and that, it's not a thing that's taught yet. And there aren't curriculums designed yet, at least as far as I was able to find. So arguing against that doesn't really mean much, because they don't exist yet, I guess. Yeah, I mean, he can believe whatever he wants, but as far as the way he's representing CRT, I don't necessarily think that's inherently what you're going to see at schools. But until then, I don't think anyone can say too much of how the quality of CRT in K-12 classes, because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't even been done yet, right? We haven't even seen it. We haven't seen what happens with it, what the end result is, etc. I mean, shoot, they're rewriting history books and changing things, or the history books that we have are not even up to date, or even telling the true truth of history in the first freaking place. There's pieces of things that are held out or put off to the side that aren't even in there, that are a part of America's history. We don't have those things at all. But Conservative Republic said something that caught my eye, and then he repeated it again. It caught my eye the first time. I was going to respond to it anyway. He said, "Why teach kids false reality that white supremacy is the invisible power running society?" Here it is. Now, this is not a false reality. If we see this stuff every single day, all right? Why do you think that we have all these videos that go viral of these quote-unquote Karens? And I know some people get offended by using that name, but that is true, where you have people who will literally spout out racist, hateful words towards somebody of color, all right, with all these hateful words, right? I mean, countless times I have seen people who have not gotten the job because another person, because of literally the color of their skin. I still have people literally, oh my God, last night I'm driving home. See, now my dogs are upset now too, shoot. conservative. You got them upset. I'm just playing. But but at the same time, I'm on my way home, right? And I listen to a lot of different people all the time, right? But Amazing Lucas had took out a clip, right? Took out a clip from a live stream that he had, okay? Where he was talking to some girl on the phone. And of course, this girl is trying to defend Brandon Tatum, all right? And we were just talking about it before the show started. Amazing Lucas has been getting destroyed. His channel is just depleting in subscribers, etc. I mean, he's losing thousands and thousands of subscribers a day ever since he put up this video about his reaction to Brandon Tatum, okay? But he was on this phone call with this girl, and she is an HR woman, okay? Like head of HR or something like that for some corporation. And she's literally on the phone, literally in this conversation that he's having with her, says that she can tell what color the person is through the phone calls that she has with these people. And throughout it, she's like, you just seem, why you suddenly became so blackety black. Literally. This is what is coming out of a woman who is head of HR, a corporate woman, businesswoman, is sitting there saying those things. Oh, I can tell when somebody is white, black, whatever. I can tell the difference, right? This is somebody who works, head of their HR, right? So I'm sorry for someone to sit here and go, oh yeah, the false reality that white supremacy is an invisible power. It does exist. It is there. I don't even think it's invisible. It is there. There are plenty of people. I'm sorry, excluding that gentleman that we just watched in that video. There are plenty of people that have lost a job or lost an opportunity for a job or go into to go in and try to apply for a really nice apartment in a nice neighborhood or a house, etc., that have been pushed away, denied just because of the color of their skin, or they don't even respond to their job applications because they see their name is ethnic. Okay? It's not like a John Smith, and then suddenly John Smith walks in and he's like, oh, okay, you black. Okay, John Smith, what's up? Other than that, there are people who sit there and will gloss over job resumes. For real. Because they see the name and they go, they black. So, if you're going to sit there and say that, if we're going to sit here and say that it's not real, let's just say like white supremacy and all that stuff, racism and all that stuff with among whites doesn't exist, then why does that stuff happen on the daily? That happens every single day. You could still go into a nice neighborhood, say a family, well-to-do black family, right? Nothing but black love. It's all beautiful and everything. They move into a predominantly white neighborhood. Predominantly. Maybe they're the only black neighbor people that move into that neighborhood. There is at least one or two freaking families in that neighborhood going, oh, well, there goes the neighborhood instantly. Still to this day, 2021, that stuff still exists. So if you're going to have those kind of things, we need to reconsider. T, what were you going to say, my brother?
Yeah, so like to go back on that man's point of saying that it's dangerous to teach our children that the white society is keeping us down. And like from my experience growing up, I heard the same thing. And back in my mind, it's been there for a long time. I don't know. It's weird because like I hate to make any child feel like they have to be, I guess, double of who they are or better than the best. Because if you put in someone's mind that no matter how hard you work or how smart you work or whatever you do, there is someone else who's going to try to keep you from doing it. Like, I try to never use that, that theory to anybody, because no one should feel handicapped. I mean, not handicapped. No one should feel like marginalized in their growth. So I hate even talking about that, because, I mean, I don't want to say it's not true, and I don't want to say that it is true, because every experience in life is different, and you don't know someone's background, and you don't know people's intentions for you. So to say a blanket statement that white society is keeping people of color down, or people who are black down, it's really dangerous to say that. So I don't want to ever say that. There are situations where a boss of a different background can purposely discriminate against somebody. They can, and they can just say anything and go, well, they weren't qualified enough, or they missed out on question 12 and that was pivotal to their evaluation. It could be anything. Like deep down, you don't really know someone's hatred towards you unless they're like using it verbally, or they're showing it to you through microaggressions or whatever consistently. So it's really dangerous to say that white society is keeping people down. It's hard to, because it's really those who are already weak, or those who haven't built resistance yet, or resilience yet, can't overcome that. So I would hate to use that in the school setting or around kids, or even some adults who can't handle adversity, to say that, because they're going to just give up and quit. So it's really, when it comes to inspiration and motivation and uplifting and being successful, you have to be resilient, and you really can't pinpoint one thing in your life and go, you know what, this is the one reason why I can't be great. We got to eliminate that from my thinking, period.
Yeah.
It's almost like a curse. So even if theoretically majority of, let's say, America is racist till this day, and they also have some kind of power, it's really a disservice to anyone trying to come to this country, whether they're immigrant or they're born here, to try to achieve something great, if the back of their mind are saying, no matter how hard I work, no matter what I do, I have to be better than the best and improve myself more than someone else because of my color or my background. And in a way, maybe that's probably true in certain parts of the country. I'm sure that's probably true. But to say that overall as a statement is really hard, because you really have to come with evidence that's going to back you up on that claim. Now, historically, has America been built that way? Yes. So since slavery to Jim Crow, the systems that put in place have been to benefit those people who the country valued as being on the top of the totem pole. So policies and laws were put in place that were beneficial to people who were white. That's just historically a fact. So if critical race theory is uncovering all these things and it's exposing them, of course, there's going to be some people who are going to feel like, damn, hell, that's not me. I didn't oppress anybody. I'm not racist.
Right.
And they have to think back about their parents or grandparents or great-grandparents, and they go, damn, well, maybe my grandpa was an asshole and a bigot. And it's mostly probably true, because what happens behind closed doors in their homes, like you just said, if a black man moves across the street, they go, oh, man, here goes the neighborhood. And that white flight happens historically over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, people are raised to think certain ways culturally and racially because it's passed down to them. The problem is the system that has been put in place, even if laws were changed and things have progressed, there are people who still carry on traditions within companies, within fraternities, within certain systems where they don't want people who are different to infiltrate their system. Whether they're Indian or Asian or black or Hispanic, because it's going to open up it's going to open up a light to who they really are. So the current trend right now really is this: everything is about realizing the harm done in the past and who profited off that harm. It's an ugly history. It really, really is. So with CRT and with cancel culture and the woke culture, a lot of things are being uncovered that people don't want to talk about because it's so hurtful. And even if you're not racist, someone in your family probably was, or they benefited from it. So all that generational wealth that was on the backs of people, who were not getting paid equal pay because they were not white, or maybe they weren't a male, or maybe whatever the case may have been, people have profited for generations in this country. So they have the suburban homes, the suburban lifestyles, their private schools. They have that wealth. And yes, a lot of it was built off of them profiting off systems that was basically designed for white people to be on top. And unfortunately, that's American history. So right now in current day society, people are talking about all this hurt, all the harm, and that we want a piece of the pie too.
Right.
And right now it's taking over education. It's taking over the corporate world, where you're getting trainings on diversity and microaggressions and all this psychological harm that's been done. But again, like anybody who's going to therapy before is going to realize that therapy is the growing pains of therapy will make you want to quit. You don't want to see yourself or see your family in the light of being racist or bigots or those who have oppressed in the past. Because all that, I worked hard. My dad came here from another country with $5 in his pocket. He made it, but don't forget, the systems put in place allow him to make it. Black people have always been on the bottom of the totem pole of this country, always. So no matter what decade it's been, they've always been on the bottom to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been the plight of Black America. How come they can't overcome? Because there's always been systems in place that look down upon people who are Black. And until that changes, there will always be that struggle. There will always be that trying to overcome movement. And till this day, we have all these protests this past 2 years about civil unrest and Black Lives Matter. All this stuff isn't out of nowhere. People truly feel like they're not getting the piece of the pie that they want. And that's why it is what it is today.
You dropped some serious knowledge bombs on that whole thing, to be really straight funky on it. But I also want to say this too. And maybe it's a way out in left field, outside the box thought. But what if critical race theory, let's just say critical race theory was something that was implemented in schools, and that's the thing that unchains all of our minds, every Black person's mind, being able to transcend and move on and be bigger, better, knowing that they're enough, right? And of course, knowing that hard work, of course, gets you far. But being able to think outside the box, I think they don't want us to think outside the box. They don't want us to know about these things.
Right.
They still want to keep us suppressed instead of us being able to be freed fully and think for ourselves, independently thinking human beings. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that we all share one brain type thing, but I'm just saying, imagine what if that approach was that thing that could really set us mentally free so we can continue. Have our own Wakanda in America. You never know.
That's what everyone has. Like you have Jewish communities all over the country who shut down. Like look at Brooklyn, shut down the whole city on Saturday because that's their Sabbath day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they own everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you have Chinatowns all across the country. You know, you have Little Italy, little everywhere. So everyone has their community where it's self-sufficient, where their dollar cycles and recycles through the community 5 to 10 times before it goes out. That's how they have wealth. They own businesses.
Yeah.
But if you look at the ghettos, no one owns that lives there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no Black Mecca in America. Like Harlem was the place 100 years ago, 90 years ago.
Right.
But like there's no place now in America that's like simply like a Black Mecca. Well, maybe Atlanta's pretty good.
Atlanta's getting there, but there's some issues with Atlanta.
There really isn't a Black Mecca that a lot of people of color to prosper continuously.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because you should have every group in America should have a place where they can thrive within their own community and feel welcome and feel unified and feel like they can prosper.
Right.
And not feel they have to assimilate somewhere else just to come up.
Facts. Real quick, because I want to hear David's thought on this too. But one thing, the Pioneer just said something. He said real quick, and I'm going to throw it over to you, David, real quick, because you haven't said a damn thing. So I want to hear your voice here too. The Pioneer said, Pascal, but how could it be taught, or how would it be taught in school when there are no set lessons for it? There is literally no set regiment for CRT. Now, here's the thing. Okay, you got a point there, Pioneer. But that's why we got to sit down, or, the powers that be sit down and start to figure that piece out. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this is brand new. This is still a new idea. This is a new thing that they want to start bringing into the schools. So let's sit down. Let's start figuring it out. You see what I'm saying? Yes, there's going to be some false starts and some, there might be some tripping over a few things. There might be some mistakes. But at the same time, we're at least trying to set up a regiment, set up lessons that will work for the school. And the other thing too, real quick, I also think that there's a way of doing it without actually going, white people bad, black people good. Like, I don't think it's a class of being like, oh, we're going to be in this room and all white people turn to your black student, or friend that is next to you and tell them that you're really sorry. No, I don't. That's why I mean by, like, everybody who is looking at CRT as like this thing of like, oh my God, white people are just going to be apologizing for the entire class. It's wrong. It's totally wrong. That's not what it is. But at the same time, there needs to be some sort of regiment, some sort of program, right? Or lessons set up so that we all, as parents, as students, know that it's not just some bashing over the head of like telling black kids that white people are the devil. You know what I mean? David, thoughts real quick. Then we got to jump into commercial. I can't hear you, bro. You muted.
For the most part, I disagree with Mr. T here. But Pioneer also makes a good point in chat where he says that he's exaggerating, but there's like 500 different definitions of what CRT is, and he's talking to somebody else, basically trying to come to an agreement on what CRT is. And I think this is a good example of the problem I was speaking of, where I think T's idea is great, but what we need is a definition so that people can actually agree to what it means. And I think, like I said, Mr. T's definition is great, but we don't necessarily have that out there yet. So I think what needs to happen, there does need to be a proposed curriculum for K-12, because what people, like I said, are talking about private companies. They can do whatever they want, and they don't have the same standards as teaching people. And you need these teachers to get together and figure out what grade they're going to be teaching these kids, like how much the curriculum spread out. And we don't know any of that information yet. So I just feel like a lot of it is in kind of bad faith arguments, because people are claiming that K-12 CRT teaches something that it doesn't, because it doesn't exist yet, like I was kind of saying. So that's what I want to see, is actual curriculums for K-12, and I think that will clear it up a lot, because I think, like once teachers get together, we're not just talking about corporations trying to make themselves look good or something like that. I think we'll start getting an actual good curriculum. Again, teachers should be working on this, not like corporations. So teachers should be making these sorts of curriculums and deciding who and how to teach them. And once they get that, I think people will agree more that it's okay, or that it's a good thing. The thing is, just right now, people are arguing, and I can't even call it necessarily a straw man, because there are a few definitions out there like that, that some people are complaining about. And there's not necessarily the definitions that are widely accepted or the ones that are going to be taught. But as long as it remains like nebulously defined, people will continue to work against it, because they don't know what it is, since it's not being taught yet. I mean, like I said, I think that's the best way to do it, is for schools to come out with the curriculum, like actual schools that are there to teach people. And then once people see that, I think there will be more consent that it is a okay thing to teach, because what most people are complaining about, and even those corporate classes I pointed to, those problems are not going to exist in a K-12 curriculum. They're not going to be teaching those things. Like Mr. T said, you're not going to be teaching kids that they're less than somebody, or that they're inherently sinful or guilty or whatever, unless you're a Catholic school, I guess. But So I think, that's the thing. That's the problem I see right now is we need the teachers to define this, and people are looking at corporations to define it. And corporation definitions are mostly just there for PR. They're not there to actually help people in any way.
And that's very interesting too, man. I think this is what it is. Okay. I think there's something we have to look at as well and realize that this is something that is still brand new, right? And people are sitting there going, no, not a chance. Now, I know that people I'm reading the comments and everything in the chat and everything. Some people are talking about it being like, oh yeah, the diversity training is BS, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I do agree. Certain things are kind of ridiculous, right? But I think that these are still new. Just like somebody saying, and I know it's not the best analogy in the world, the best example in the world, but when somebody said, hey, we are going to fly. We're going to learn how to fly. We're going to take us into the air. We're going to travel in the air. And people are going, man, you crazy. And yes, they got started. They made mistakes, broke down several times. It's the same thing as this crazy idea of this kind of curriculum, right? What if this crazy idea, as it progresses, they have some starts and stops, they make some mistakes, they learn from the mistakes, and they come up with something that works beautifully. It all has to start with an idea, right? It all has to start with it all has to start with an idea, right? So why not let's see what they have to offer in regards to an actual curriculum, or lessons, etc. Right? Diversity training, it is very interesting. And somebody said earlier, you can't educate like a racist or a sexist. You can't teach them to unlearn that. But I disagree. And maybe that's just me and the glass is half full type of attitude that I have. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I've seen plenty of people that have unlearned certain things, not from CRT, but just from talking with somebody, actually having a conversation, the uncomfortable conversations that you have with people. I've been that person where I've been on the receiving end of people asking ridiculous things and me responding and them opening their eyes a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? Yes, they might still have their own thoughts, but now they walk away from that conversation with something new. But like I said, I'm still that glass is half full guy, and I do believe that people are innately good, humans are innately good, and if they want to get along and live a happy life in the pursuit of happiness and all that stuff, sometimes people have to unlearn certain things by learning new things, right? And I get it. Some people are stubborn and stuck in their ways. But at the same time, hey, like I said, it's still the first pancake. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what they have to offer first before we just completely eradicate it and listen to somebody like that viral video of some dude who happened to he scratched the winning lottery ticket, in my personal opinion. That was his own individual experience. That's what I'll say about that. So like I said, this is, yes, a crazy idea. Some people think it's ridiculous, but at the same time, this is still just the genesis of it. Let's see where it goes from here. You see what I'm saying? Let's have them put together a curriculum, lay it out in front of everyone to see in all of its glory before we automatically start nuking it and saying it's BS and it's a waste of time. But anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's World News Briefing, and then we're going to be doing that giveaway, so stick around. I know a lot of you guys want to pick up the phone. All right, we'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
All right. Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and being a part of the conversation. And I do appreciate it, real talk, because it's a tough one, right? It's extremely polarizing. There's a lot of people that agree and a lot of people that disagree. You know what I'm saying? But I love the fact that we can all be in this chat, in this conversation, and still be civil about it, okay? So I do appreciate that, okay? Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this show. We do this show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I do a Tuesday through Thursday show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there as well. That would really mean a lot. All right, so go and do that. And of course, I have that join button. Crush that join button down below. $4.99 a month helps fuel this channel so I can keep giving you your topics and news and controversies of the day. So be sure to crush that stuff as well. Anyway, we got to jump into the we got to go into our news briefing real quick. You know what I'm saying? With David. So real quick, of course, I got to get this whole thing going here. You know what I mean? All right, David. World News Briefing with David. Let's go. You're muted, brother.
So there wasn't a whole lot going on in the world, much like the U.S. Today, but there are a few things. One of them is pretty topical to what we were just kind of talking about, so here we go. So the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that food giants Nestle USA and Cargill can't be sued for child slavery on African farms where they buy their cocoa from. 6 African men allege that they were trafficked from Mali and forced to work on cocoa farms in the Ivory Coast. The group say both companies perpetrated the slave trade to keep cocoa prices low. The court ruled 8-1 that the group had no standing because the abuse happened outside of the U.S. But it stopped short of a definitive ruling on whether or not the Alien Tort Act, which is an older law, could be used to make U.S. companies accountable for labor abuses, and that was originally to kind of manage that overseas in the first place. So about 70% of the world's cocoa is produced in West Africa, and much of this is exported to America. It's estimated that 1.56 million children work on cocoa farms in the Ivory Coast and Ghana, according to the report published by the U.S. Department of Labor last year. In their lawsuit, the group of men alleged that they were forced to work on the cocoa farms for 12 to 14 hours a day. They also said that they were kept under armed guard while they slept in order to prevent them from escaping, and were paid little beyond basic food. All right, so This one's in the U.S. So in Portland, an entire police crowd control unit voted to disband after a member was indicted on charges stemming from a riot. The officers who volunteered for the unit also cited lack of recognition as a reason. The police bureau rapid response team self-imploded on Wednesday after around 50 police officers, detectives, and sergeant members of the squad voted to leave it, according to acting Portland Police Chief Chris David. According to David, they're not feeling like the sacrifice that they have made necessarily has been understood very well, and that's their perspective, and I have to honor their perspective. The mass exodus was sparked by the indictment of one of the team's members, Corey Budworth, on fourth-degree assault charges in connection with an incident during a declared riot on August 18, 2020. Budworth was captured on video pushing a woman to the ground and then hitting her in the face with a baton. The woman, who is later identified as freelance photojournalist Terry Jacobs, can be seen wearing a press badge and with a camera dangling from her neck in the clip. Despite this, the Portland Police Association dismissed the charges as politically motivated and said that he was just doing his job. In Germany, the defense minister Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer warned on Friday that the entire German military's reputation is at risk after soldiers serving in Lithuania were accused of anti-Semitism and sexual abuse. Addressing the situation during a speech to young officers, Kramp-Karrenbauer condemned the actions of the serving German officers after reports surfaced. She says that anyone who behaves like this should not be in the Bundeswehr, which is their Air Force, I believe. Goes on to say that the comments come 2 days after the defense ministry called numerous German soldiers to face disciplinary actions, including immediate dismissal. German forces participating in an enhanced forward presence mission in the region allegedly sang racist songs and sexually assaulted a female soldier, with the event captured on film. German Defense Ministry says that 10 soldiers were affected and that 4 have been recalled, and that they are currently investigating and interviewing about another 30 additional individuals. The allegations are believed to center around recreational activity that occurred in April, ending with the singing of right-wing extremist and anti-Semitic songs in a local hotel before a female soldier was assaulted. So they are also looking at lesser charges along with those, basically of being drunk, threatening locals, and starting a physical brawl. In Israel and Palestine, Israel decided that it will be giving 1.4 million doses to Palestine. All of these doses will soon be expiring, which is why they have decided to give them over. And the new Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, office said that in response they will take basically 1 million fresh doses meant specifically for Palestine. And Palestine doesn't really have a say in this. They're getting the shots from Israel, and Israel is taking theirs to distribute as they desire. However, it will be the same amount of numbers, but obviously right now Palestine has to get those out there before they expire, because that's very soon. They didn't give an exact date, however. And that's mostly it for the world today. It was mostly quiet, like I said. So thankfully no major violent incidences in the world today either. Let's hope it stays that way for the weekend.
Yeah, man. And thank you for that. That is the world news brief. What's going on in the world? A lot going on in the world. Real talk. But not at the same time. It's weird. Today was a weird day for news so far. But honestly, there is some information right now that we need to break live on the show. It is a breaking story as we speak. It just kind of came into me during that segment. There was a shooting, at least 1 dead, and a dozen hurt after 8 shootings in West Valley area of Metro Phoenix. So 4 people were shot, 1 fatally, as a gunman went on a shooting spree in the northwest suburbs of Phoenix on Thursday, today. 9 other people were hurt by shrapnel and debris. And so they said the sheriff, or the sergeant, Sergeant Sheffert, said, we have a total of 8 incidents as of now, he said. Police pulled over a suspect in surprise after his vehicle was spotted by a firefighter. The shooting scenes are in Glendale, Peoria, and Surprise, 3 cities just northwest of Phoenix in a region known as West Valley. The shootings took place over a course of more than an hour, the sergeant said. The sergeant also said a firefighter spotted the suspect's vehicle. The suspected shooter didn't resist arrest, police said, and a weapon was allegedly found in his vehicle. So right now they're still under investigating all this whole situation. But right now we have 1 dead and 8 or over a dozen people shot over a course of 8 shootings in Phoenix, Arizona. So of course I just wanted to say that, really quick, let you guys know about that breaking story, because that's something that's breaking right now. They're talking about it and everything. But yeah, like literally it was a series of drive-by shootings, basically. They have not released the identity or the name of the man, at least in this particular article that I'm reading right here. There is no name to the suspect. But my heart and thoughts and prayers go out to all the families and all the people that were a victim in these multiple shootings that happened in Arizona today. So that's terrible, terrible news. Okay, so there is something I wanted to show you guys before we do this giveaway. So yes, fellas, all you fathers out there, be sure to get your phone out and ready, because we are going to be doing this giveaway. Like I said, a $50 Cash App opportunity. You just have to answer one simple question, and then, you win $50. It's that simple, fellas, to all the papas out there, okay? But there is something that I wanted to show you guys. This is another crazy story that's recently it's a video that's gone viral. It is hold on, let me pull this up here really quick. Ooh, sorry guys. That is hella loud. All right, so there's a viral video that's getting shared a lot right now, and in this particular video, it's coming from, where is this? This is the Shade Room. Shout out to the Shade Room. They always got that fire. They always got that fire, man. Okay, hold up. Son of a gun. Hold on. This thing's tripping. What the heck? This whole thing is... Okay, hold on, guys. Sorry. This whole thing's tripping suddenly. Okay. So, in this particular video, a woman shares a video of a man's reaction after she and her friends allegedly rejected his advances, claims he pulled a gun out of his car, all because they turned him down. So, there are so many women who experience the aftermath of men who cannot take no for an answer. But this right here is on another level. A woman recently shared this video of a man's reaction after she and her friends allegedly rejected him. Shortly after their conversation at the table, the woman claims he went to his car and pulled out a gun. In the latter part of the video, the woman can be heard seemingly running away from gunshots. Okay, and this is real. This is a real video, y'all. So let's take a look at this, shall we?
Bro, gone.
Yeah, what you talking about?
You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing you, bitch.
You ain't embarrassing
Who is
me,
you?
baby.
Who is you? Who is you?
Nobody to you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Go. What
Bruh. They're running through the restaurant. One more time. Wow.
Bro, gone.
Yeah, what you talking about?
You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing you, bitch.
You ain't embarrassing
Who
me,
is you?
baby.
Who is you? Who is you?
Nobody to you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Go. What the?
Okay. That's insane, right? That's fully insane. Why? How did it all of a sudden turn into dudes? Like, I understand, like, you shoot your shot, you feel embarrassed, you know what I'm saying? You're getting your feelings, you walk away, you know what I'm saying? You go into your cave, you lick your wounds, and you come back, you know, stronger than before. You know what I'm saying? You don't go lick your wounds, pull out the Draco, and start shooting up the place. The hell is wrong with people nowadays, man? This is the problem with guys out here that just can't handle rejection. That is a huge problem. Why would you want to do something like that and bring harm to people just because those girls said no? Now, I understand some girls can be really hardcore. You know what I mean? Some girls can be really rude. All right. And a dude's just trying to get out there and do his thing. You know, he's just trying to shoot his shot. He's trying to make a thing happen. You know what I mean? And I understand that piece, but you don't have to go to that extent, y'all. It does not have to turn violent. This is the other thing, though, too. Ladies, because I understand there's a lot of strength within groups, right? Women, I know how women can be when it comes to going out as a group. Y'all feel like you're invincible, right? And when a dude tries to shoot his shot and say what's up to all y'all, sometimes you guys can be really harsh. You know what I'm saying? You guys can be really harsh and try to knock the dude down because you feel like you're invincible because you're with your girls. You feel me? But this dude could have handled himself a lot better than this. When it comes to this situation, what I was trying to say is, ladies, if you're not interested, just say, hey, thank you, and just keep moving. Keep it moving. Don't even bother your time. Don't talk to them. Don't try to knock them down. We don't know these people are crazy. People are crazier than before now. You see what I'm saying? These girls are just having a good old time, minding their own damn business. I'm sure they were roasting the hell out of the dude too. Not justifying the result, the end result, but I'm sure they were roasting the hell out of the dude. Fellas, what do you think of this video real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I just agree with you. The guy's an idiot. He should just be able to treat it like most people. They say no, you just walk off. It's,
right.
Billions of people do that every day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like someone said, I think Pioneer said it, that there's obviously already stuff going on, and this was just the catalyst. But I don't know. You can never know for sure because a lot of these guys are crazy. And I've heard stories from my friends, like friends that are women before, and it doesn't sound like this is necessarily that unusual. They reject someone, and they end up getting like followed by that person because they told them they were nice or something, or like
right.
they say they don't got time, and they just start harassing them, crap like this, or
Yeah.
you know, like what we saw right here. She says no, basically, and the dude pulls a gun.
But you
he doesn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, but you could tell like they were probably one of the girls. Like, okay, I'm not trying to sit here and trying to throw anybody under the bus, okay? But sometimes when you get a group of girls together, like I said, they can be rude. They can be rude as hell, right? And they could sit there and try to say something because they want their friends to laugh at that guy's expense. You know what I mean? They'll sit there and go, oh, you dusty, or you look ugly, or whatever, right? And of course, that'll make somebody feel some type of way, right? Should not ever resort to pulling out a gun. But some girls can do that. I've done that before. I've been on the receiving end of being roasted. You know what I mean? When I've walked up to a group of girls and tried to say hi and say what's up, and they'll sit there and go, they'll just roast me, and then they'll walk away laughing, kind of thing. That's happened. It's happened to the best of us. Okay? But at the same time, that's what happens with a lot of girls. They'll sit there and go, oh yeah, you know, I'm impenetrable. I'm unstoppable when I'm with my girls. So then they'll say some crazy stuff. They'll spat out something out the side of their neck to the wrong dude. Next thing you know, he pulling out the gun and shooting up the damn place. All because they were trying to roast him or get a quick chuckle at his expense. You know what I mean? T, thoughts?
I don't know. I don't have any kind of logical explanation for why someone would actually do what he did, except for he's just a weak person. He's just weak.
No, he's weak as hell. He's weak.
I mean,
he should have just walked away. Clearly.
Even like the guys who aren't the most charismatic, most charming, handsome guys, they go out and try their thing, and they talk about like, all right, I may strike out 9 times, but the last time I got someone's number, and they're cool. Like, it's not going to be 1 for 1. It's just not. So you have to make sure that your self-esteem is in a good place, first of all, because even if you do get someone's number and you take her out and it doesn't work out well, she's turned off by you because your attitude is not where it should be at.
Facts.
So, I mean, he already lost before you even began. I mean, if him having a gun on himself was just in case somebody disses me, he's already weak as a person already. So he's trash.
No, he's trash.
I'm happy nobody got hurt. You know. You know, it's just unfortunate that like someone's going to use the situation as a racial thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they always like to point out racial things with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a reflection of the black community. It's a reflection of a weak behind male who happens to be black.
Yep. Yeah, that was a weak-ass male that happens to be black without a shadow of a doubt. The other thing, though, I'll sit here and say, too, is that the dude chose the wrong setting. These women were sitting at a dinner table. They were not out at a club where they're all standing around mingling with a whole bunch of other people. He walked up to a table full of women while they're in the middle of their own food, you know, eating, etc., doing their own damn thing, interrupting their time with each other. So, you know, you got to pick and choose the right time to approach a gaggle of women. Let's be real. You got to find the right time. And it's definitely the wrong time to walk in on them or try to approach them when they're sitting there eating dinner and enjoying their time together as a group of women. This whole video's trash. Whole video's trash. And like Mr. T said, you know, I'm very happy no one got hurt. But at the same time, men, bruh, y'all, fellas, we don't need to be this fragile, okay? We do not need to be this fragile to the point where just because you got roasted, man, come on, like I said, you go home, you go back to your cave, you lick your wounds, and you live to fight and hit on other girls another day. You take it as a teachable moment and you keep it moving, not pull out the gun and start shooting up the damn place. That shows that you're a juvenile, straight up juvenile. Anyway, we got to go into the big giveaway today. You know, it's time for a little bit of pop quiz hot shot. Yes, some pop quiz hot shiggity shot. Okay, an opportunity to hold on, let me adjust this. This is a little loud. This is an opportunity to win $50 Cash App. Okay. First off, obviously, you got to have Cash App. So if you win, you can't sit there and go, oh, I don't have Cash App. Download the Cash App. Get that on point, okay? Now, yes, it's time to win some monies, okay? Some monies. Winning the monies, okay? Give me a call, 314-766-4581. The rules of this game is you have to be a man. The only person that can call that is female right now is Chris CCC, okay? Because she's calling in on behalf of DOA, okay? Because he had to leave. All right, that's the only other person that can call in and try this out that is female right now. So, fellas, the giveaway for Father's Day. Okay, so call in 314-766-4581 for a chance to win some monies. Winning the monies. Okay? 314-766-4581. This ought to be a good one. We got David at the helm, ready to give off the question of the day. Don't be shy. Give us a call. Is this a hard one, David?
It's hard to hear you over the music.
Oh, really? Hold on. Let me fix that. Okay. Is it a hard question? That's what I was asking.
I'd say going with easy to moderate today.
Okay. See? You want to win $50? Give me a call. 314-766-4581. Come on, guys. Let's go. Give us a call. Give us a call. Come on, fellas. Come on, fellas. 314-766-4581. In case you lost the number, 314-766-4581. There are plenty of dudes that tune into this show. Where you guys calling at? Where you at? Call in 314-766-4581 to win some monies. You know, this is sad.
There's gotta be somebody soon.
I figured the fellas would be calling right. There we go. I was like, dang, it's taking forever. Damn. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Vince from Arizona.
Vince from Arizona. What is good, man? Hold on. Let me lower this a little bit more because it is kind of loud. Thank you so much for playing. Let us get the question for your ass, Vince. Let's go, David.
All right. So the first question we'll be doing is, released in the 1980s, this revolutionary movie tells the story of a stay-at-home dad and is played by Michael Keaton.
Mr. Mom. Love that movie.
Not quite.
It's not. That's not it. What's the question again? One more time.
Released in the 1980s, this revolutionary movie tells the story of a stay-at-home dad and is played by the actor Michael Keaton.
And he said Mr. Mom, so
Mr. Mom.
So it's not right.
Nope. Sorry.
No. Oh, Vince, thank you so much for calling.
No, that's not. No. Mr. Mom's correct.
Let's see.
You have the answer, right, David? So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
the
resting
answer
on
here is
him
wrong.
only. I'm resting on
double-checking
David.
the answer
Okay.
to make sure it's
Are you
not
sure?
wrong. 'Cause
Mr. Mom, he has the vaccine as a kid. He has the kids. He's watching the kids. His wife goes to work. She works for Jesse Campbell. I mean, I don't know movies, dude.
yeah, you got it. The quiz thing here had a wrong answer, but you're right.
Is it right or
It
no?
says Mr. Dad. No, he's right. It says Mr. Dad in the quiz, but
That's
the answer
weird.
is Mr. Mom.
It's Mr. Mom.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay, Vince. Congratulations,
We got
man.
the first one.
Hey, yeah, man. I mean, that was an
He knows
easy
more
ass
than the
question, though.
quiz.
That was an easy ass question, though, David. Easy ass. That was easy. I was like, are you sure? That's why I was like, wait a second. That can't. He's right. Wait a second. Hold on. It's Mr. Mom. He got it,
Smarter
Vince.
than the quiz. It's fine.
Vince, congratulations, man. Thank you so much for playing. Hey, please text this number, your Cash App, and we will be sending it to you very, very shortly. I really do appreciate you calling in and being a part of the show today, man. Congratulations, and don't spend that $50 in one place. You know what I mean?
No problem, Pascal. I love your show, man. You're so great, dude.
I appreciate you, man. We love you, too. You have a good one, man. Peace.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, there it is. There you have it, man. That was quick. I was hoping for like a 15-minute long, you know what I'm saying, like challenge. That was the easiest low-hanging fruit question in the history of low-hanging fruit questions you could have asked. But it's okay.
I blame it on the quiz. Because it says Mr. Dad, and I never heard of a movie called Mr. Dad.
I didn't
thought
hear.
would be a
I
harder
never
one.
heard of a Mr. Dad either, baby. I'm like, what is Mr. Dad? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I looked at it. I'm like, I never heard of this. This is going to be a harder one.
I was like, what the heck is this? What is this? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Anyway, congratulations to Vince for playing all the way from Arizona. Like I said, you know what I love about this show is how international, how national and international the show is. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. It makes me happy. It puts a big old smile on my face every time I get to come on here and act a damn fool and argue with you guys. Agree, disagree, argue with you, and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I do appreciate all y'all for being on and everything. Thank you guys for calling in for the challenge. Vince, congratulations. Enjoy that $50. I hope it's a great one for you. The greatest $50 you've ever spent in your whole entire life. Okay? But David, thank you so much for being on. T had to jump off. But T, again, thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all out here that are going to be celebrating Juneteenth, have a safe one. Enjoy your Juneteenth. Also, for those of y'all who are actually celebrating Father's Day, happy Father's Day to all of you, okay? This is a very serious time. You know what I'm saying? Like, more and more than ever, we live in a time right now where, we are losing people that we love more than anything that we love dear and close to us. Right now, Father's Day, even for me, is a really tough day for me because it is my father, I lost my father about 2 years ago, or will be going on 2 years ago. And every Father's Day has been, was always a really great one with my father. So I urge every single last one of y'all, because of what happened, with this situation that we've been dealing with for about 15, 16 months, and dodging that. If you still have that person, if you still have that father or that father figure in your life, I say do as much as you can to honor them on Sunday. Do everything you can to honor them on Sunday, okay? Because, like I said, when they're gone, they're gone. So please go cherish your time with your family, cherish your time with your father figures. And like I said, for those women out there that wear both hats, I even say happy Father's Day to y'all too. Because without y'all, some of these guys out here would be acting a damn fool. All right. So do something nice for your family. Don't get them a tie or a pair of socks. Do something nice for them. Okay. Like I said, we just got through a crazy year, right? So we should be cherishing the ones that we have around us even more right now, okay? All right, it's time to get going. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and go over to the other channel, The Pascal Show Clips, and hit that subscribe button over there as well. All right, I appreciate all you guys, okay? Have a wonderful, positive weekend, all right? Do some great stuff this weekend, all right? Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys on Monday. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.